Now, you've worked in local governments in the UK and politics here, and you've sort of touched on it a bit, but when you came here, was it a bit of a culture shock in terms of how things work? I mean, I know you're Albanian originally, but the British system, as you mentioned, is very, very different. And you've come back here with this British sort of mentality in a way, and you want to apply it to a very different system. And I think it's fair to say I've lived here for 6 years. Corruption is ingrained in every part of society, from the taxi drivers to the people at the top. Was it a culture shock for you here? And have you had opposition? And I don't mean from Sally Berisha, I mean opposition against your British ideas.
Well, to be perfectly honest, Britishness, British politics for that matter, is very well liked amongst the Albanian community at large. So in that sense, I haven't felt any. But as you say, there is no perfect political system. There is no perfect public services anywhere in the world, or indeed private services in the world. But it does, for me, I have to readopt, and it may sound strange because this is my country, but I have to readopt with the way in which they do things in Albania. One thing that I have done, and I'm committed, I have promised myself that one thing I won't do is to change myself. I will continue to deliver services in the way in which I've learned to do in the United Kingdom when I was there as a public servant. And if that differs from the way in which they do them in Albania, it is my legal duty, of course, because as a member of parliament, our job is extremely easy. Only two things we have to do, which is to produce legislation that is in the national interest and in the interest of the electorate, people that have voted for me in my area. So as long as those two boxes are ticked, I'm fine. I can do anything. I can approve and agree to any legislation. But in a broader terms, as you mentioned earlier, yes, there is corruption. I don't think any country is free of corruption. But it is more notable in the Albanian society. Unfortunately, for more than 30 years, we've had this transition, which is taking longer and longer and longer and longer. And it has, in a way, it's the main thing. Corruption is the main thing that holds the country back. However, I'd like to see the glass half full rather than half empty. And as I mentioned earlier, there are some brave reforms that the government of Albania has undertaken in the previous few years, but also politics in general. I'm very much hoping that even the latest developments in Albania will help it to have a better society, to have a society that is equal for everyone. So there should be no differentiation in the way in which the public is treated because of where they are from in Albania, or because of what political party they belong to, or their political beliefs, etc. So the justice system for me is the key. It will help to change, because it is the first time in Albania for the past 30 years, and obviously during a dictatorship it was a different matter, but it is the first time that the public is seeing that the judiciary is treating people equal. And that's what we are. We are equal in terms of law and how it is applied. So I'm very much hoping that, and I will do my utmost while I'm a member of parliament, to clear up the system. There are some of us, and it does hurt me, it does pain me to say it, but there are corrupt people since early 1990s in our system, be it in political parties, be it in government, both local and national. But it is our duty to get rid of them and to clean up politics, because it is time for altruists to serve the country. There is nothing wrong with people who want to be rich and to make money. The only problem is that it's not the public sector when you do that, it's the private sector. So whoever wants to be a millionaire or billionaire, they need to go to the private sector. The public sector is a sector that serves the public. It serves the people.